Motorola made waves last year when they launched the Moto G. While the spec sheet wasn't revolutionary, the price definitely was. Now a year later, Motorola has refreshed the Moto G and it still offers great value, but in certain markets like India, the Moto G finds itself going up against an offering from Xiaomi, who's made a habit of undercutting just about anything in the market. Enter Redmi 1S, a phone that on paper outspecs the Moto G while costing less than half of what the Moto G does. So is that it? Do I just ask you guys to hit like and subscribe and end the video here? Or is there more to this comparison than meets the eye? Well, let's delve a little deeper. But before we do, if this is your first time here or in case you've forgotten, my name's Ash, this is C4E Tech and you're watching my comparison video of the second generation Moto G with the Redmi 1S. Let's start with the built-in design. The Moto G is longer, wider and thicker than the Redmi 1S thanks largely due to sporting a bigger display. Surprisingly, it's the lighter of the two. That combined with a curved back that helps hide the thickness and the smaller bezels ensure that the Moto G remains as comfortable to use single-handed as the Redmi 1S. While both phones have user-replaceable backs and microSD card slots, it's only the Redmi 1S that has a user-replaceable battery. Despite that, I'm gonna give this round to the Moto G mainly due to the slimmer bezels, lighter weight and the curved back resulting in better ergonomics. Now we move on to the display. Both phones sport 720p IPS LCD displays. This results in pixel densities of 312 pixels per inch on the Redmi 1S and 294 on the Moto G due to the pixels being spread over a larger surface area. Well, that does give the Redmi 1S an edge. The Moto G hits right back with Gorilla Glass 3 protection. The Redmi 1S sports Gorilla Glass 2 in some markets and in others like India comes with Dragon Trail glass instead. The deciding factor here though is that the display on the Redmi 1S is very reflective and that affects outdoor usage. And that means the Moto G takes this one as well and goes up to nothing. Now we get to the specs and the Redmi 1S finally opens account with a clean victory here. While both phones are powered by the Snapdragon 400 chipset housing 4 Cortex-A7 cores and Adreno 305 GPU and 1 GB of RAM, the cores on the Redmi 1S are clocked 33% higher, 1.6 GHz compared to 1.2 on the Moto G. You can see that the Redmi 1S gets a clean victory here. Next up, we get to battery life. While the Moto G sports a 2070 mAh non-user replaceable battery, the Redmi 1S on the other hand sports a 2000 mAh user replaceable battery. Note that the display is smaller on the Redmi 1S. On a looping video playback tests, the Moto G lasted around 6.5 hours on a single charge, while the Redmi 1S lasted about a half hour more. But that being said, with day-to-day usage, the battery on the Redmi 1S does seem to deplete a lot faster. Like I said in the review, it seems like it's a software bug and till Xiaomi fixes it, this round goes to the Moto G as well. Moving on to the cameras next, both phones sport 8 megapixel rear cameras that can shoot decent pictures with ample detail. The Moto G does handle exposure and color reproduction better though. The Redmi 1S hits right back with faster autofocus and shutter speeds. When it comes to the UI, I found the one on the Redmi 1S a little easier to use and a bit more functional. The 1S seals its victory here with the ability to shoot decent 1080p video. The Moto G's 720p video just cannot match the quality here. Now we move on to audio. While audio via the earphones is similarly good across both devices, the dual front-facing speakers on the Moto G outperform the single rear speaker on the Redmi 1S and with that, the Moto G goes up 4-2. Next up, we get to the software. The Moto G runs on the latest version of Android 4.4 KitKat. Motorola's left the UI mostly untouched. Here it's vanilla Android, an almost stock experience barring a few apps that Motorola has preloaded. And as expected, everything's smooth, apps open up quick without a lot of lag. Things couldn't be more different with the Redmi 1S. The Redmi 1S is still stuck on Android 4.3 Jelly Bean with Xiaomi's highly customized MIUI V5 on top. But MIUI is a very good UI, it's very functional, doesn't slow things down, the Redmi 1S is equally fast and smooth, it's just a different style of Android, one without an app drawer but with tons of customization options. There's just a lot you can change here. In the end with UI it always comes down to personal preference, what you'd want. But that being said, I'd have to give this round to the Moto G since Xiaomi's yet to upgrade the Redmi 1S to KitKat which was released a long while ago. So now we head to the final round, price, and that's where things get a little confusing. In most parts of the world where Xiaomi doesn't sell directly, you'd have to import a Redmi 1S with shipping charges and customs duties that would end up being more expensive than a Moto G, which is priced at $179 in most parts of the world. So yes, if you're from those parts of the world, no question about it, get a Moto G, be happy. But in a market like India, where Xiaomi sells the Redmi 1S directly, that too for under $100, rupees 5999 to be precise, and taking into account that the Moto G is priced at 12,999 here, the Redmi 1S wins this round price. Despite that, the scoreline still reads 5-3 in favor of the Moto G, and yes, it certainly is a better device. But most of the wins that the Moto G has are minor. Barring battery life, there isn't really anything wrong with the Redmi 1S. It's just that the Moto G does do a few things a little better. So if you're from a market like India, it is this question that you're faced with. Are you willing to pay more than 2 times the cost of a Redmi 1S for a Moto G that is just a little better? What would you do? Would you endure a Xiaomi flash sale to get a Redmi 1S? Or would you pay more than twice the cost of the 1S and get yourself a Moto G instead? Let me know what you do. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Anyway, with that, I guess we get to the end of this comparison video. Hope you liked it. Hope you found it useful. If you did, please do give this video a thumbs up. And for more videos like this, do stay subscribed. If you have any feedback or video requests for me, please do let me know. You can hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. The direct links to all my social networks can be found right below the like button in the description. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Till next time, this is Ash here from C4E Tech, signing off. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye now.